Kenpo politics. Topic: paradigm shift. When one talks of the paradigm shift, one talks about the ideas of Thomas Kuhn, who was able to describe different changes, be they socially, psychologically, and physically, in our day-to-day living aspects that are beneficial to the society and to human beings. And I am glad to talk about this thing because of a conference happening in our capital city, the city of Nairobi. Nairobi, in the Kenyan Ma language, means a place of cold waters. It's a beautiful capital town, just as big as any respectable world capital city is. Same infrastructures, buildings, and everything that one can get in the big cities around the world can be found in Nairobi. We have a United Nations headquarters that is with ICP. And as that has been happening, there has been a forward conference by the United Nations and by the government of France, co-joining the French-speaking countries, Francophone, and the English-speaking countries, Anglophone. It is a conference of its own kind. A good conference. For the first time, a French president has been able to chair and co-chair a meeting of the French-speaking and English-speaking countries in a country that was once a colony of Britain, which is an English-speaking country. It's a great honor to our country, Kenya. But that's not the main reason that I'm talking about this. I saw the one we elected, we call him wheelbarrow pusher, scooping some dust in the breaking up of the United Nations building. And I imagined him scooping new developmental agendas and abilities into the wheelbarrow for the country called Kenya. And it was refreshing in his speech when he said he's neither aligned to the east or to the west or to the north or to the south. His alignment is forward for Africa. Changes that will necessitate the eradication of poverty in the continent of Africa a panacea to the problems that we've been having over the decades. Poverty, lack of educational facilities, lack of medical facilities, and things that go into that category. It is refreshing for the country of Kenya and the leadership of Kenya to have taken that paradigm shift, because Kenya has been trending, has been associating, but now our expansion to association is not boxed in. We are not boxed to certain quarters, west, east, west, or south, or wherever. But we are open to developmental empowerment for both the African-speaking countries, English-speaking countries in Africa, and the French-speaking countries in Africa, which is an embodiment of self-propulsion towards self-independence in issues like economy, in issues like political refinement. This is a once in a lifetime first move for a country like France to be able to organize other countries, both from those aligned to it to those aligned to Britain. I spied some things that were interesting. Just like any other big conference, when it's being held, there are always people who will disagree and others who will agree. And it's a good thing because people demonstrate, express their opinion, which is very important in any society that is developing, in any situation where self-empowerment is involved. But what caught my attention most was when there are riots. Of those that were arrested, there were 4 who made me wonder, how were these things happening? From Britain, 2 from Korea, and another one also from some country that is not within. I'm not saying foreigners or those people who have come to this place are not supposed to express whatever they feel. But I looked at it from my point of view and thought, what is wrong if the French, just like the British and the Americans and the rest of the world, have been partnering with us in development? What if the president of France, Macron, and the president of Kenya chaired that conference? Does it make a difference? Surely. Where does a country like Britain, where does a country like Korea, where does a country lose? Because this is an issue of looking forward, empowering each other. They can invest, and we invest also. They can generate revenue from their investments. We can also generate revenue. We can raise funds for the African development. That's what the president said, and it was refreshing. The wheelbarrow pusher of Kenya. And what touched my mind was that we are yet to get out of the old alignment systems that we had. Because presently, no country can claim to be communist as such. No country can claim to be 100% capitalist in the sense that it doesn't have some communism features within, social welfare things within. Starting from China to the United States, no country can claim to belong to the extreme. So when there is bad blood, because the French and the French speaking and the Anglophone countries are being brought together for cooperation, it leaves question marks. Must we be aligned just to one place at the expense of development, of social change, of empowerment changes? And that's why it was refreshing when I heard these words from the wheelbarrow pusher. This time we shall not be taken advantage of. We shall ensure that the partnership within these countries, be they the ones that are being formulated now and other countries, will lead to a true development, a true empowerment of the countries in the African continent, and the African continent countries have started raising their own funds for a start in the manipulation, activation of their own economic growth, how to impact their own economical ideas in partnership with different countries that are able to coordinate with them, not in suppression, not by taking advantage, not by giving aid, but enablement for the countries to be able to stand on their own, and also to benefit the countries that are investing in these countries. It is a paradigm shift, a look forward into the future, a look forward into situations that will eliminate uncertainties, where we have to sit with a begging bowl in the hand. Please give for medical aid. Please give for refugees. Please give for education. Please give, so that Africa has been portrayed to be in that kind of scenario. We're getting out of it. But still some countries have not come into terms with the fact that we are also waking up. And you will always hear slurs like, if we stop it, the people in Africa will die of starvation. The people over in Africa will not know. It is empowerment, not aid, that Africa needs. I remember one of our teachers in the junior school telling us, when they were empowering us with knowledge, that it's better for a man to give you a hook, give you a line, and give you a rod, and teach you how to put bait on the hook and show you the place where you will be able to throw the hook so that you catch fish rather than bringing you a fish or several fishes every day. Because the other one has left you a beggar. You cannot be able to do anything when he does not bring the fish. But those who have empowered you to have the knowledge, to have the equipment, means that you can only get for yourself. You can not only get for yourself, but you can get for so many other people. You can even get fish for commerce, yours and those to sell. So it is encouraging that this is the direction that France has decided to take in the African countries that are English speaking, coordinating them with the French speaking, and the African countries themselves doing self interaction, interrelationship for their own development, for a new rise, for a new dispensation, for a new paradigm shift. I hope it does not stay at the meeting level, because there have been times when we've had good ideas that have only ended in conferences. Let's hope this one is enacted on the ground. And I'm glad the wheelbarrow pusher said it's not aid. Kenya and the rest of African countries don't want aid. They want a cooperation, a relationship that will activate the abilities, the innate power in the African economic building capacity, in our own political situational growth, and in being free to choose friends without being coerced to stick on a certain side because of the purported thought that certain countries were only to be attached to other countries. It is a fresh breath of air to hear that we are open to all countries that will come with the development of the people, the empowerment of the people of Africa to be able to grow their own economies, following their own systems, not systems that are forced onto the countries. It is the best thing that has happened. We're looking forward to that happening around Africa, so that we get rid of poverty, so that when we go to other countries outside, be it for studies, be it for visits, we are able to come back to our own countries, knowing that the facilities that are there are also here, so that other countries that sometimes get burdened with many immigrants getting there will realize this time that there will be no pressure on their economies, pressure on their living space, because some countries are smaller than countries in Africa. In fact, France generally may be around the size of Kenya, or slightly, I don't know, I've not put the measurement, having such an economic power. So being the same size, and with that empowerment and share of knowledge, we can also be able to produce much. a country like Uganda, a country like Tanzania, a country like Burundi, a country like Rwanda, a country like Congo. Our potential is great. It's only the activation of the innate abilities in us to be able to achieve a paradise that will come as a result of the paradigm shift. I say kudos to those who have been involved in this. Kudos to the Kenyan president for having accepted to host this, and kudos to the French president for having thought it twice, even though there are other French-speaking countries. He ended up in an English-speaking country to help coordinate what also the African countries think, coordinating both English and French-speaking countries towards a goal of self-sustenance, eradication of poverty, and an opening of new visions forward for the betterment of the African continent and for the betterment of France and other European countries, and for the betterment of the other countries we deal with in the East and in the West. This is a spark of enlightenment in the right direction. I'm really happy that we're taking steps that will be able to pull people out of the poverty that they have been in. Congratulations to all those who thought of this conference in Nairobi. I think I will take it up to that much. Any more development, and if I have any more ideas also, I'll be able to voice my ideas as a person. Those are my personal. I always speak as a person. I'm a layman. I'm not an authority in those areas, but I always speak from a layman's point of view. That's my take for now.